Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tanks Gaming today again with another Hearts of Iron 4 video. Last we left off, I told you guys that I will change to fascism because I need to in order to declare wars on the borders and everything. Just check here, they should be all trained to the max, they are. Except those guys, they could get a little more training done. But I did change it to the Free American Empire, which is a fascist state. Of course, we are not that hot at the moment, therefore. Quite a lot of naval bomb fighters, actually. Close air support stuff. Yeah, that's all good. Also, over here, we will tell those guys to stop training, actually. Makes more sense to not waste that anymore. We have quite a lot of free civilian factories. But we will just justify a war goal straight ahead against, let's go against Yucatan. Just takes me 90 days to fabricate it. And when it is fabricated, we will have a war. We can change everything else. If they cancel their non-aggression pact, that's good with me. The Brits are still in my territory at the moment. Everybody is trying to get around here. We are short of what? Manpower, I guess. And that's where I actually lost audio of commentary. So this is post-commentary. Post-commentary. Post-production. Post-production. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it right. But I'm really sorry about that. That's for sure going to happen in episode 14, 15, which is 14 is this one. 15, 16, 17, 18 I have all the commentary audio in. 19 also I have to do post commentary. Because I haven't quite figured out what went wrong or how it went wrong. It's actually just happened to this episodes and my German ones as well. Not everything at the same point, so 2 or 3 videos are after a minute 40, another video is about after 18 minutes, and what else was it? Another one has like 3 minutes, which audio is lost, and another one is barely any audio there at all. But anyway, what I did here was I started to do the island hopping from Florida to get all these little islands, or actually prepare it before we start the war with the Allies, and which will eventually turn into World War 3 or 4. Well, everybody against me, actually, basically. My fleet isn't that big yet. But bigger than it could be. Yeah, there you see me try to cover the areas for my ships, for my naval invasions, and also to sink convoys of the Allies, which will be pretty soon. So I'm just at the moment I'm really just distributing ships and stuff. Getting all the submarines out, which are already quite a lot. 127. Did I see that right? The preview window is very small. Actually, I could try to make it big. Nah, I don't want to mess up the recording. But for episode 15, I'll try that out. On the other hand, if you guys would rather just see the game without commentary for this couple episodes, just let me know in the comment section of this episode, and I will leave it at that. I just uploaded like it is, like with barely any commentary or like a couple of minutes and then it cuts out and there's just pure gameplay. If you would like that, I can do that as well. Even though I thought it... I actually thought for a moment to just scrap it and continue with episode 20. So you just have like episode 13, 18 and then 20, and the episode betweens are missing, and I do like a recap. That will be probably the fastest way for me to fix it. Because, yeah, I wouldn't have to do post-commentary on all the episodes. On the other hand, I actually like to play around with this mechanics and everything, so we can see how that will turn out. So, you see me starting the war plan red against Soviet Union. Unfortunately, you need to do that actually quite early on in the game, because I couldn't finish any of the war plans, because it was already too late in the game and the factions or the countries didn't exist in that way anymore, which needs to be preset for this stuff. Here I'm getting some more military police. I changed the sign. I finally realized I could change the sign so I won't mess it up again. That's again thanks to Scripter. That's an actual mod, which adds more unit citations or signals. I'm building quite a lot of MP here, which I will basically need during all of my wars, because I need to occupy all the areas with military police, otherwise they keep blow up my factories and I don't get the resources and factories out of these regions, at least not completely. So the Free American Empire, we just declared war on Japan, and Japan actually joined the Allies. No, the coup actually started, sorry. A coup I started in Japan, which was one of my last videos, my idea how I could get into wars again, but still there would be this little piece down there if I wouldn't have changed to fascist. I think that's what around the point where I decided that I don't care about the Soviet front. I will leave it as it is and just focus on the war in Mexico and basically also Canada, because my guess is at that point that both nations will, or one nation will join the Allies. So if I declare war on Mexico, it will declare for the Allies. The Allies will join the war and we have an all-out war. I'm going down here the fighter tree, so to say, to get more air superiority faster. And actually learned quite a bit. All in preparation for the war. I'm getting all the air wings ready to get the bonus during the battles for air superiority. A lot of Mark 1 jets, P-40 Starshooter, right? Not 100% sure. P-40s for sure, but I can't remember the nickname the plane had actually. But anyway, I made the wings. And I'm pretty much ready. I'm just waiting for the time when it will be ready to go. I have a lot of free military factories. Going down the research tree, I have researched everything in here. Going for the middle doctrine there. Actually, should I, should not? Not quite sure. No, I think I go for the next rocket stage. Which would also better my rocket artillery if I had any. Unfortunately, I do not produce any at this time. But it would probably make a lot of sense to have your infantry stuffed with one towed artillery and one rocket artillery. And when you switch it over to mechanized, you could get the motorized artillery as well. Activate all the war plans for the Marines and for all the divisions in the south and in the north. And I'm just waiting till the time ticks over where I can declare war on Mexico. So come on, come on, come on. Time run by. Yeah, I added a modern tank division up here, 12 strong, in Canada front, which will push directly to Montreal. I did change it a little bit because I figured out I messed it up before. I do need a little bit more organization. That's why I added 3 battalions of mechanized in there, and just 4 battalions of modern tanks and 2 battalions of modern tank self-propelled artillery, which makes it pretty powerful. Warplan Red has been done, so the national focus. I go straight next to embargo. Actually, yeah, it is embargo, which I think would block the Soviets from getting any materials from my side, if they had any. any deals going on there. But there we go. We have the war goal against Mexico. I'm declaring the war. Not calling in the allies. Calling in the allies. I'm not calling in the allies. Well, yeah, I call in the allies. I couldn't remember exactly. I mean, this is about 3 weeks old when I recorded it. It's quite a backlog there. Still has to do with my crappy internet. I can't upload whenever I want to. Well, I sort of can. I mean, I'm uploading now while I'm doing this re-recording of the audio, so to say, but it takes forever. And I'm not quite sure what actually messed it up. Here my game nearly crashed because I was still running on full speed and all these messages were popping up. And I'm just clicking through it. So everybody basically joins the allies. And the allies, or everybody was part of the allies. And Mexico just joined the alliance and called everybody into the war. Yeah, here I'm contemplating what to do. Should I? Yeah, they're at war. They're not part of the allies. Not really, at least. They're at war with Japan. Same goes here. They're at war with Japan. Not the Japan's People's Republic, the other one. The fascist one. And the British actually have a war goal against them. And they would have a war goal against me. So they basically maybe one day would have decided to go for it. And that's when I realized that all the troops which were in my territory actually just took over territory. You see that back down there? British, and over there are some... what's it called? South African troops, I think. It's a very small screen, but here I can pretty clearly see the Union Jack. Ecuador wants to send some divisions, sure. And the Iron Wolf Lithuania, which is fascist Lithuania, asked to join our faction, and I decline. I declined that a couple of times during the next couple of episodes. They just keep asking to join me. And I basically don't know if I can kick them out of my faction or if I just can disband my faction and then and redeclare war again. If you zoom down like this, it's all British flags, but actually it's different flags as well. And I can't really see my Marines. I think they're already at sea. Yeah, they are already at sea and they're actually going. My Mexican troops should be marching as well. Yeah, there are green arrows everywhere. And I think Canada hasn't really joined yet. I'm not 100% sure, because it doesn't really look like that Canada is there. Philadelphia has already been taken by Allied troops, because those were the troops which were still in my territory. And also Washington DC is pretty close to falling. That would actually pretty much suck if I capitulate because of that, if I had less national unity. But yeah, here in South America we are going strong. We already have cut off the half island of... Don't hit me, but I want to say it's Yucatan. This area here, this half island. I'm not 100% sure. It's not my area of expertise. But yeah, I think Canada is... Yeah, there was a war going... there was a battle going on up in the north there. So Canada is in the war. But I don't think I have put them on aggressive yet. That's why they're not going that strong. And I'm actually focusing at the moment on my Marines, and I click there, nearly on the harbor. And I'm actually focusing to take all these little islands, which should help keep my coasts clear. Because at the moment they could stage naval invasions in Florida from those islands. I got quite a big sub-fleet in the Mediterranean Sea, which I completely forgot about and never took it out and decided just to leave it there. And during this war, they're actually doing pretty good. Actually, just re-gave them their orders. Because they can't get out of the Mediterranean anyways, because Gibraltar and the other part, which I'm not 100% sure which one it is, are already taken by the British or by the Allies, which makes everything a bit more difficult. So I can't get in there with my troops. So in the north, still not a lot is happening. Still trying to bob this little territories of... red is England, or United Kingdom, actually. Yeah, they're still moving in there, just checking. And I actually lost Washington there. I have Philadelphia back, but Washington has fallen to the British, or to the Allies, actually. I think that's actually a Russian troop there, which are part of the Allies in that part of the game. What is it, 48? Yeah. Yeah, you see Yucatan is going pretty good, pretty easily. Actually, just 3 divisions are assigned to this front anymore, if I saw that correctly. Yeah, and we are pretty much rushing just through here. I'm out of manpower, so I have to change my manpower's laws there, which gives me straight away another 1.7 millions. Hang on, let's see, 1 division are in the purple thing, and probably 4 in the red one there on the red border. I think Argentina just joined me there, if I saw that right. Joined the war, so I have to say. They're part of my alliance, or my faction. And yeah, now there is actually some movement going on in the north. Just bobbing the last territory over there. And there is still a little bit. I think I didn't notice it at that time. Because I haven't started the war plan in Canada. That's the reason why they didn't go. Now I go for the middle air superiority thing there. Yeah, my subs are running havoc on a Russian fleet there. So the subs in the Mediterranean were actually a bit of good luck for me. Yeah, there is just like 1 territory to capture on Yucatan half island, and then the whole army will focus in the south. Do I realize now that I have to click on aggressive move? Would be smart if I do. Actually, my tanks are actually moving aggressively, I would say. Nope, they're not. It's just on moderate. I should have switched to aggressive way earlier. That would have gone way faster. Come on, realize it, tank. It's kind of hard to see that. I really should have changed that for earlier. Why didn't I do that? Yeah, I'm bobbing this territory over there. Do I notice the red speck now? Yes, I do. Perfect. That would have bugged me if I haven't noticed that during the whole video. So we already have taken Toronto. Ottawa is also ours, and Montreal as well. I didn't pay attention to this side early on. Otherwise I would have stationed some troops over there. But at the moment it doesn't really bother me. There is not a lot of stuff in Alaska. It's just very, very rough terrain. It takes forever to retake it, which we will see either at the end of this episode or it's pretty early on in the next episode. Because, yeah, well, spoiler alert, Canada will surrender pretty soon, as well as Mexico and actually a lot of South America, but I did learn some stuff in South America, which I'm not going to go ahead. That's also part of any of the next episodes. And I learned something very valuable in, I think that's actually episode 18, which I do not have to redo because all audio is there. Huh. I'll have to check that. But I will do that afterwards. So the Marines should be ready to go. Well, the ships are not there yet, but Mexico is nearly overrun. Yeah, go there. Quite a lot of mechanized in Douglas MacArthur's army. Our field marshal, the only field marshal I use at this moment. I probably could use a field marshal in the south and add those 2 armies together to get an army of 48. I'm not quite sure why I decided not to do that. Vancouver, they hold on quite a bit because my army decides to move around here instead of focused its power at this one point. Yeah, with the research I go for the Fargo class research. Light cruiser? Nah, actually medium cruiser, right? Not quite sure. Afghanistan has declared war, right? Did I see that right? I'm not quite sure. I'm not really afraid of the Afghanian army. Well, they're actually pretty close to... I have Soviet borders there. Oh well. Yeah, you see the Canadian troops actually retook their province south of Vancouver. My troops are just diddling around, not very smart. I need to split up this front in multiple areas. That would have been the very smart thing to do. Let's just delete actually the front line. And decide to draw a front line over here, which makes no sense at all. I really should have split up the army here. That's an army of 55 divisions. Over here, the blue army, the modern tank army is just pushing through. Not a lot of problems. Mexico is actually, yeah, you see nearly every other country is in the war. Canada's very far on the bottom, but you see they're already very close to capitulation. That's because I have taken pretty much every city except Vancouver, which I should do here pretty soon. I can't remember if it was this episode or the next one. I think they should capitulate this episode. Oh no, look there, Edmont. There is another victory point which I haven't taken yet. And over here, my tank army, yeah, I decide this island needs to go as well. Because reasons. No, there is a harbor and actually a victory point. That's actually pretty important to bob that ASAP. And I don't really have any troops down there, so my divisions can just walk through and occupy the territory and then it's mine. Which is very nice. And yeah, Mexico is very, very, very close towards capitulation. Which should turn out really nicely. I haven't started to fabricated war goals against any other nations down there, which is a bit sad. I should have done that earlier. But yeah, that's where I need to deploy my military police. I decided to do that. Do I add them at one already to the MP division? That's the Canada front. Come on, just add them to the MP. Be smart, tank. Do it. I think I had a problem there. 26. Yeah, why didn't I What you doing with the MP thing? Why haven't I put that in one big army yet? Ah, well. I will do that. Spoiler alert again, I will put all my MP in one big army. Which makes it way easier to control. Well, of course you need quite a lot of MP to cover all the territory. So therefore I just covered the areas which I thought are necessary to cover. Done jet fighters, research down here is everything is done. Kikyo military, nuclear power. Ships, we are researching the last tier 4 ship there. For what reason I went for anti-tank, I still don't know. Till this day I haven't fabricated towed anti-tank. Mexico has actually capitulated. Perfect. So we are just bobbing the rest of the territory over there. Then I actually give right-click order? Yes, I do. To take this, what's it called? The British part over there. And I did a right-click order for military police. For the Canadian army there. Again, just lost one sub and destroyed a couple of Soviet ships. Well, it's not Soviet anymore, it's the Russian Republic. Which is nice, works out pretty nice. Sinking convoys around the Mexican Gulf of Mexico and... Well, actually the Gulf of Mexico is on the other side, right? Between Florida and Mexico. Guatemala is part of the Allies, so I do not have to declare war on... fabricate a war goal in Guatemala. That's good, nice to know. And for some reason I couldn't draw the front line here. Because I was on the wrong button. I see. Yeah, move the troops in there. And ooh, look at that. They actually have troops in Guatemala which are now pushing back. And there are countries which we are not at war with. They're not part of the Allies. Yep, I just realized that. So El Salvador isn't part of the war. They will be soon though. Honduras isn't part of the war. Also, very soon they will be. Nicaragua the same. Costa Rica is already part of the war, right? Nope, still have to justify war goal there. But they were pretty friendly towards us. Well, not for long anymore. Panama the same. We actually guarantee Panama. Well, we guarantee they will be a part of the US pretty soon. But I still haven't figured out why my tanks didn't move in there, so I did it manually. And I wouldn't have to delete this front line, actually. They should have done it by themselves. And here I got pretty lucky. You saw the front is split over here. They did move out so that we have like a little peninsula which is our territory. For some reason I went back to the Canadian front. I used Purple Army to move up here. Yeah, and give them order to deploy strategically so they move up faster. So I get a 24 divisions strong army to push into Vancouver. Motorized. Mechanized. Damn, why I always mix those two up. You saw there the blue front line is actually from over there. Straight through Canada to the other side. My Marines have landed. Perfect. Delete all their old orders because they didn't have a front line. Go from here and take this island. It takes, I think, 28 days. Yeah, Nicaragua. We have the war goals there. Yeah, we can't make a front line there. You should realize that's just one territory. Do you realize now? Yes, I think I have realized it now. Perfect. You see there the split part, the split of the front, and some of my divisions went to the harbor and actually moved through the Gulf of Mexico. Yes, I'm right. That's Gulf of Mexico and the Florida coast. And my MP actually has covered everything. Perfect. So yeah, they moved from... I don't know the harbor there. But you see the tanks in the middle of the ocean, right? If they had any fleet, they could have destroyed me there. Because some tanks are, some divisions, actually super heavy tanks and heavy tanks are moving through the Gulf of Mexico to go there and attack from the other side. Because the front was split in two and they actually had the front on the other side. So I declare war on everybody down here. They of course joined the Allies shortly afterwards. At the moment I had pause there. Yeah, declare war. And that's about it. Everybody down to Costa Rica. Nah, crap. Which? Colombia. I can just run through the territory down to Colombia. But you see there the naval war thingy. And now I can actually draw the front line down here, which is pretty nice. Should give them the orders to... As soon as they're done with that push, they should automatically push on the next area. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you did like it, please hit the like button. You can also subscribe to my channel or follow me on Facebook or Twitter. The links are in the video description. And like always, thanks for watching.